Hello everybody, I'm down here to school and I want to do a short video on maybe 3 different types of manifold sets, some differences, similarities, and why you might choose one over the other as you get started in the HVAC field. So this one right here is a 4-hose set, 1, 2, 3, 4 hoses. You can see on there. This hose right here is a little bit oversized. The reason you have 4 hoses on here is this really an installation manifold set. You have more connection points. You have this oversized hose which aids in the speed of evacuation. So probably not something you want to lug around as a service tech or demand service tech where you're troubleshooting. If you're getting in and out of the truck, 6, 8, 10 times a day, you don't want to grab these. Kind of bulky and heavy. So again, 4 hand valves, 1, 2, 3, 4, controls the flow to each of these. Other than that, pretty much straight up. I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look at this face of this gauge right here. Try to get a little closer. Hopefully you can kind of see it. So what we have is pressure on the outside ring, 100 psi, 100, 150, 200, and so on. We also have temperature rings right here. So each one of these colors is a different temperature ring. You have rose colored, which is 410A. You have green, which is R22. I believe we have 404A and 134A down there closer to the center. So for instance, if I was having a pressure of 150 psi, saturation temperature for 410A would be about 52. Saturation temperature for R22 would be about 79 or 80, somewhere in there. So that's how you read that. Pretty much once you understand how to read one gauge face, they're basically all identical, just different pressures and temperature relationships. So that's that one. We kind of move over here to the 3-hose set. Right, we have 3 hoses. This is your more conventional looking manifold set. This is what everybody has. Lots and lots of folks have. This is kind of a good starter set, primary set of gauges. Once you get into it, you might transition to another type, but there's certainly nothing wrong with these. This happens to be a dedicated 410A set of gauges, which only means that it only has a pressure ring for 410A. We have pressure on the outside, like we do on the other, and then the Celsius temperature for 410A and the Fahrenheit temperature for 410A, which is right there. It does have this other set of numbers, and I believe that's like international measurements. I'm not, I don't use those. So that's kind of what this is. Obviously, when you hook these gauges up, these hand valves should be closed, right? You don't need the hand valves open to read pressure on either of these gauges. So this is your more conventional type of set. So that might be something you'd invest in. Over here is something you might get, again, depending on, where you are with what you're doing. I mean, if you know for certain that this is what you're doing, probably nothing wrong with going ahead and investing in a set of these. This is wireless digital gauges. These gauges here transmit, or these instruments here transmit information to a application on your phone. By the way, I do have these. These are the field piece. There's lots of different, or a handful of different manufacturers. I know Testo makes a set, and Appion makes a set. So everybody makes a set. These are very, very popular. They're pretty good. I do have these, and I also have a couple 3 sets of those hanging in there, right? What happens if I run out of batteries or something's not working? You definitely want to have backup. Anyhow, we can kind of take a look at these real quick. Right here are the 2 gauges, so to speak. These are pressure transducers. So this is the high side. You can see the little red window right there. That means high pressure. This one has the little blue window, and so that's low pressure. I would basically turn that onto my machine and hit the button here, and this thing is now ready to transmit to the app on my phone, so I would get my high and low side pressures. Right here, this is my temperature probes, temperature clamps. You can see the red window for high temperature. That'd be on the liquid line side, and this other one is blue for the low sides. That's my suction line temperature. Again, same thing. We would turn this on right here by just pressing and holding, and it comes on. You can see you get that green slow flash. That means we're good to go on this temperature probe. I'll show you what happens if it's not making good contact. You can hear the double beep, and then you get the fast yellow flash. Means, hey, something's not quite right. You might need to sand off your copper, or whatever the case may be, or scratch these in a little bit. But whenever you make a connection, you get that long beep, and it tells you that everything's good to go. All right, so that's your high and low side temperatures. And then you have these psychometric probes or psychrometers. And basically, again, same thing. I got a little blue window, that's for the cold temperature. And I got a red window, that's for the warmer temperature. And you'd put these in exact same way, one on the supply side, one on the return side. I do have some magnets here, so that if you are hanging it off of a piece of ductwork, up in the air, that magnet will keep it up there. Anyhow, you connect these, and this set here will give you a tremendous amount of information on your phone. You'll get, obviously, your high side pressure, low side pressure, high side line temperature, low side line temperature, supply air, return air. You get wet bulb, dry bulb. It'll calculate BTUs being absorbed in the evaporator coil. It'll calculate your airflow for you going across the evaporator coil. So a tremendous amount of information, and more information than that. So these right here, I do believe, make a good tech better. All right, just gives you a wider look at what's going on. So it'll definitely make a good technician a little bit better, I think. I don't think these will make a bad technician any better. Because if you're a bad technician, in other words, if you don't know what you're looking at or what you're reading, it really doesn't matter. So if you're learning, just getting started, I'd encourage you to go with that and learn the basics. And then, as you get better and as you're sure this is what you're going to be doing, you can invest maybe a little bit more money and get those. All right, thanks.